Welcome to our webinar, which is conducted by Zazz, and I'm your host for the day. My name is Meghna. If this is your first interaction with Zazz, let me give you a quick intro about us. Zazz is a trusted technology partner known for delivering custom software solutions and scaling top-tier tech teams for global enterprises. From AI and cloud to security and software development, with cutting-edge talent and tools, we help businesses grow. And we don't just build apps, we help build the future of technology. Now that you know a little bit about us, let's quickly walk through with what this session has in store for you. But before we dive in, I'd like to know if all of y'all are awake and wide and ready for the session. Drop in the chat where you guys are joining in from. Let's see how global we really are. All right, we have few people joining in from Brazil, from India, Toronto, Argentina, Canada. It's great to see you guys all over from the world. It's amazing, really, how technology makes everything easy and so fast for us to connect with. Similarly, like technology is growing, the world of DevOps is no different, and we are here to help you stay ahead. Whether you're a developer, an engineer, or exploring your next move, this session is what will bring you real clarity. So let me quickly walk you guys through what today's session is all about. The key difference between DevSecOps, GitOps, and AIOps. Why security certifications matter more than ever, and now you can pick the right one, which is right for your caliber. Our speaker Daniel will showcase real world examples and will also answer your live question and answers. Now, before we get into the next segment, let me quickly introduce you to our speaker, Daniel Picato. Daniel is the founder of the DevOps for Startups and a highly talented DevOps and solutions architect. He brings years of experience designing secure, scalable, and high-performing infrastructures across complex organizations. His expertise span from GitLab, cloud-native environments, and embedding DevSecOps practices that align with tech and business goals. Daniel, we're excited to have you with us. We'd love to hear more from you. The floor is all yours.
Hey everyone, I'm Daniel Picato. As you said, I'm a founder of DevOps for a Startup, and I'm super excited to be here with you all. Let me tell you a bit about my journey. I've been in the trench for over a decade now, building secure, scalable systems that don't just work, they dive in massive business wins. I've seen companies go from startup chaos to enterprise level operation, and trust me, the landscape changed dramatically. First, big shout out to Zazz for hosting this webinar. Those folks really know how to connect talent with opportunities in the tech space. So follow them in the media, please, in the social media. Today, we are diving deep into 3 game-changing trends that are literally reshaping how we build and deploy software in 2025. And as Meghna mentioned, is DevSecOps, GitOps, and AIOps. And here is the thing, they didn't just words anymore. They are the foundation of every high-performing industry. By the end of this webinar, you have a clear understanding of where the industry is heading and exactly how to position yourself for success. So let's rock it.
Thank you so much for that introduction, Daniel. So let's start off. Let's get into the big picture. What is driving the shift towards DevSecOps in 2025?
Well, I'm talking about 38% increase in global cyber attacks compared to the last year. And these aren't just typical script kiddie attacks. These are sophisticated and well-funded operation targeting that attack the very foundation of our digital infrastructure. Maybe some of yours remember SolarWinds. Well, that was just the beginning. We got supply chain attacks happening weekly now. Just last month, I consulted with 3 different companies that have been hit by similar attacks. The old model of build first, secure later isn't just inefficient, is a business suicide. Here is what used to happen. Maybe you experience yourself this. A developer write the code, he passes through a QA, and then weeks later, security takes a look and finds 17 critical vulnerabilities. So I've seen entire product launches delayed by months because of these antiquated processes. The average time to identify and contain a data breach, you know what it is? 20, yeah, 287,000 days. That's almost 10 months. You can imagine the damage that happens in that time frame. No, DevSecOps isn't just a methodology; it's a complete mindset shift. We are using security from the very first commit, making it everyone's responsibility, not just security teams. Think of this: instead of building a house and trying to retrofit security features, we are incorporating security into the architectural blueprints from day one. Let me walk through what actually looks like in practice. Static application security testing. Maybe some of you hear about it. That runs on every commit, where you're catching vulnerabilities even before someone push it to the repository. Dynamic application security testing that hits your running application simulating real-world attacks. And we got the more powerful and sophisticated, that is interactive application security testing, which combine the best of both worlds, testing applications from the inside out while they are running. But here is where it gets really powerful, and I mean policies as a code. We are not just scanning vulnerabilities, we are automatically enforcing companies' standards. Maybe you hear about it: PCI, DSS, SOX, HIPAA, whatever your regulatory requirements are, they are baked into your pipeline, and it's really powerful. I'm gonna share to you some examples, but before the examples, I want to share you my screen just to show you how it looks like for real. Let me find the bottom. Here it is. Share window. Yeah, sure. Everybody is seeing it, isn't it? Perfect. Well, this is how this is a DevSecOps platform that is GitLab. You can use another one, but I'm using this for now. And this is how a pipeline looks like. You can see all the steps that you are running. And here, for example, you can see the build and the tests. You see the pipeline, the unit test, and after it passed, it goes to the container scanning, secret detection, and SAST. That was the static that I was talking a few minutes before, the static analysis. We have another pipeline here just to see how it looks like to run this kind of pipelines that in a real world. Maybe you are thinking about, well, okay, you said that you can find vulnerabilities in just seconds, and how it looks like. Well, this is how it looks like. And the amazing stuff about it is not just that they said, well, okay, you have these buttons and you need to look how to solve it. You can check it out, what it is, what is the original problem here, and to see what is the solution. For example, here you can upgrade this to another version. Well, just I want to share that with you to see how it works in the real world. And I'm gonna come back to the meeting to start talking again about some samples. So I used to work in a middle-sized bank that was struggling with some compliance stuff. They traditional security have security reviews. Their security reviews take about 3 or 4 weeks per release to the security stuff in the implementation. Well, they implemented DevSecOps pipeline using GitLab security features. The results, the audit times went from weeks to hours. But more important is that they catch the 95% or 94% of vulnerabilities before they hit production. I remember I was talking with the CSO and told me that was the most significant improvement that he saw in many years. Another story that gonna give you nightmares. I was working in a startup company that is a gamer company. They make games, and they have a ban that exposed 3,000 user records. The breach cost them $189,000 in fines and remediation costs. Near the bankruptcy of the company. We rebuilt the entire CI/CD pipeline with Zazz integration, and every single line of code now gets scanned for bugs, secrets, and compliance issues, as we saw in my screen. And their deployment velocity actually increased by 30%. So amazing. What I mean with that the ecosystem has matured incredibly. GitLab security, Sync, Veracode, checkmarks, these tools have become incredibly sophisticated. They're not just finding problems, they're providing actionable solutions with one click, fixes for many common vulnerabilities. Container scanning tools like Twistlog or Aqua Security means your Docker images are bulletproof. And imagine infrastructure as a code scanning with, for example, Terraform security that ensures the cloud secure by default. I think this is very powerful. Here is what really gets executives excited. Companies implemented DevSecOps, seen a 50% reduction in security related delays.
Looks like DevSecOps is the next evolution in the DevOps world, right?
Yeah, that's right. It's gonna be the baseline. That today the baseline is DevOps, but the cultural transformation that we are living gonna be the next. It's about cultural transformation that DevOps were when it began 10 years ago. This is about breaking silos between teams. You remember when I started with DevOps, that was something like that, breaking silos between the devs and the operations team. But this is between operation and security teams. It's
Right.
another
Now
silo
that
that
you've got that covered, can you also explain us what's the difference now between GitOps and AIOps from DevSecOps? Let's say in terms of work or implementation, tooling, workflows.
You mean the difference between DevSecOps and AIOps, that, or
Yeah,
what do you mean?
the difference between GitOps and AIOps from DevSecOps.
Okay. Let me see. I have some notations here. Just to follow up the meetings. The meetings of this, because I wanted to be in the same page.
Maybe you can help us with like the workflow of it.
Yeah. I want to talk about it, but I want to follow. I mean, The difference is that DevSecOps is like the baseline of this. And when you move to AIOps, it's about analyze logs. When you, for example, are in a big company, a really big company that has a lot of services and microservices, the system produce thousands of logs per second. For a normal person, not a robot, it's almost impossible, for example, to analyze it. And it means that you need something else to catch the errors or the problems before it hit, for example, production, or to prevent it. And what is the AIOps? AIOps works, it implements AI to help you to analyze the data. GitOps, sorry, I'm 30. GitOps is about control and consistency. Imagine that you have the one source of truth for your entire infrastructure state with complete auditability and instant rollback capabilities. That's GitOps. The core and the principle is simple. Your Git repository contains all the code, all your infrastructure, the automated systems, they continue it, and you want to match the desired state in a declarative way rather than in an imperative way that it used to be. So do you describe what you want through GitOps, you're gonna achieve that, It's like a connection between the code and the state of what you wanna have. For example, a developer commits infrastructure changes to a Git repository, maybe, I don't know, scaling a microservice or updating a Kubernetes deployment. And a GitOps operator, as we saw in the image that I shared to you, we are using GitLab. A GitOps operator in GitLab, the GitOps operator in GitLab is Flux. So when you push a change, Flux detects it and change it through a webhook that is constantly polling. The system validates against policies that change, and the operator applies the change to the target environment. And of course, continuous monitoring ensures that no drift configurations occurs. If you want to, I can give you an example. When I used to work with an e-commerce platform, they were struggling like when every deployment consistency, because it's really usual. They have more than 60, well, now they're gonna have for sure a lot of more microservices. They have the common stack. They have development, staging, and production environment that were supposed to be identical, but gradually drift apart over a month of manual intervention. This is an usual case in almost every company that don't has this kind of that don't has GitOps implemented. The deployment process was a really nightmare. So different teams were deploying different versions, configurations, and a lot of folk were there, a lot of rollback that takes hours, and nobody was sure what was the previous good state of the infrastructure. So we implemented a GitOps strategy. In that case, we use Argo CD with Kubernetes as a single source of truth. Of course, we moved all the infrastructure to Git repositories. We create environment parity in staging, prod, and dev that were completely synchronized, and every merge to main triggered automatic deployments, for example. And the rollbacks of the deployments that probably take hours because they need to analyze a lot of stuff got under 60 seconds. The errors drop, I remember, about 80%. And we eliminated the configuration drift entirely. That difference between between ambients, we erase it. Just everything synchronized it. And we didn't hear anymore. It works on my machine. So it was a really, really good approach. So the GitOps tooling for me, I think Argo CD is the most popular choice, especially for Kubernetes. Flux for lightweight and flexible environments. Jenkins, that the fans of Jenkins maybe gonna know it. Jenkins, that is great for teams that just know how to use Jenkins, maybe to don't have a curve of learning, implementing something new. Jenkins is really good. And GitLab, it's really good because it has CI/CD integrated with all of we need. So GitOps is about control and AIOps is about intelligence. Applying artificial intelligence, when I talk about AIOps and machine learning to ID operations, creating systems that don't just respond problem. That was our problem in the past years. You know, when we detect a problem, it was not predicted. We have the problem, so now we need to solve it. The difference with AIOps is that it allows us to prevent the problem. AIOps ingest massive amounts of operational data logs, metrics, traces, events, and whatever you want into machine learning and identify patterns, anomalies, and correlation that humans never can do in that way. Think about it. And I was talking about it previously. An enterprise application generates usually terabytes of operational data every day. Not human team can, even if it's super skilled, can process that volume of information effectively. So that's where AIOps shine. I consulted with an old client that is a streaming platform that were experiencing random outage during a peak of few times, and their outage costing them a lot of money per minute in lost revenue and customer churn, you know, when the customer left the platform. For them, the traditional platforms of monitoring wasn't working because the issues were incredibly complex. The combination of network latency spike, database connection, pool exhaustion, and CDN cache invalidation happened simultaneously in a stream. So they implemented AIOps. The system ingests, for you to know, approximately $50,000. Sorry, the system ingests 50,000 events per second from various sources, because they have separated the chat for one place in the streaming, the chat, the transmission in another provider, two providers at the same time. So really, really big. And adopting this,
that's helpful.
Yeah.
Thanks for breaking that down. So let's make it a bit interactive now. We have a poll that's going live for our audience. So please do take part in the poll, and it is live currently.
Great.
Please let me know if you guys can see it on the chat. The poll is live. Go ahead and give in your answers. Which of the following DevOps certifications are you planning to pursue in 2025? We have our options below: DevSecOps, GitOps, AIOps, or you haven't thought of any yet. Let's see what the audience is currently responding.
See what they're gonna take before my advice.
From the looks of it, looks like the audience hasn't thought of it yet.
Let's see.
Okay, so looks like we have a winner, and the winner is none of it yet. So looks like our audience hasn't thought of it yet, which kind of brings me to our burning question for the day. Why are DevSecOps certifications becoming a non-negotiable now for your career growth in 2025? Since none of them have decided to take any certification, Daniel, would you like to explain why this is important now?
Yeah, for sure. This is probably the most important career question you could ask right now. I'm going to give you the truth about what's happening in the job market. The tech job market has changed a lot. Uh, Gone are the days when you could be a specialist in just one area. Today, the CDOs and hiring managers are looking for what I call the triple threat professionals. That, I mean, people who can code, understand infrastructure, and think about security from day one. So let me share some numbers to you. The latest cybersecurity workforce study said that currently 3.5 million of cybersecurity positions are unfilled. But here is the kicker, it's not just traditional security roles. It's development teams, platform teams, SRE teams, and they all need security mindset. I mean, you don't need to be a security expert, a CSAO. You know, you could be a DevSecOps certificated that, and some numbers about it. If you certificate with DevSecOps, uh, it you can earn 28% more than the people that are not certificated in DevSecOps, and they receive offers about 30% faster in interview. So when a hiring manager sees a DevSecOps certification on your resume, here is what they immediately know about you. Technical competency. I mean, you can build secure CI/CD pipelines. They know that you know static analysis, dynamic analysis, scanning, configure secret management, and maintain compliance through the platform and the application with industry standards like PCI, DSS, SOX, as I said before, and HIPAA. Strategic thinking. You understand how security integrates with the business objectives. You understand how to enable faster and safer delivery. Cross-functional collaboration. You can bridge the gap between development and operation and security teams, break that silos that we were talking about before. And that's incredible. And risk management. You can identify and mitigate security risks through software development lifecycle because you know how to implement it from the beginning of this. So I have some example that I'm gonna explain some for their certification, but I know a woman that was a senior developer as a fintech startup, and was stuck in basic feature development. She's smart, but his resume used to look like a junior developer. And I convinced her to pursue the DevSecOps Foundation certification. That maybe you hear about it. It's about the foundation of, it's a part of DevOps Foundation. The study process took her like 6 months to got certified. And when she finished the course, it was like magic. She published, of course, the certificate and has in the same week 3 new offers of job. Well, she accepted one of SRE at a bank, so the salary almost duplicated. The most important, she was seen for the company like an strategic hire, not just okay, I'm gonna hire this resource with I need X thing. No, they know that they are challenging the organization with it. So for me, an strategic approach, maybe for certifications, could be the DevSecOps Foundation that I said, that is vendor neutral. So it's really good, and it's really nice to have. A certificate ethical hacker of set that give you a nice mindset. And if you don't know about security, maybe even you can start with a CompTIA Security Plus. That is the fundamentals of security. That's it for beginning. For intermediate level, maybe it's an AWS certified security specialist. That it's hard, but it's good if you want to work with infrastructure in the cloud. Of course, SecureNet certification, maybe CIS or CKA. So a GitLab certified DevSecOps specialist, that is a practical and hands-on certification, and there are not a lot of people certificated in GitLab, and a lot of companies now is migrating to that kind of platforms that have everything in one place, you know. And for the next level, maybe some certified information system security professional, that's CISSP, that is the gold standard always for security. And of course, go deep on that. I think for that, what I would do today, if I need to start with this, gonna be because the certifications are just, you know, the beginning. It's not like, well, okay, I have the certification and everything runs super smooth. You need to build a portfolio to showcase the DevSecOps skills. That is easier today. GitLab is almost free, and the same if you use GitHub with Skype, you can do the same with them. Create a multi-tier application, document everything. Today is really easy with AI to, if you are, I don't know, maybe creating a pipeline with a secure pipeline of front-end and back-end application, you can document it with AI and gonna be amazing, you know. Hiring managers look a lot of if you have something public to see that.
Well, there you have it, guys. If you're serious about advancing in your tech careers, go and get on with that certification. Now, before we move on to the last leg of our webinar, let's run another poll. We'd like to know what our audience currently are pursuing and what tech roles they are looking at right now. So I think the poll is going to go live now. Yes, it is live now. So go ahead and cast your votes there. What kind of tech roles are you currently exploring? DevOps engineer, cloud platform engineer, SRE, security engineer, or you're open to anything right now? All right, the answers are out. Looks like it's a tie between DevOps and cloud engineer. Daniel, now that the answers are out, can you give us your top tip for people that are still trying to choose a path between all of the options they've given or anything else?
Well, for me, you need to think what gives you passion, you know, because this is all about, you need to learn a lot of stuff. You need to dedicate hours to acquire new knowledge. So it's about your passion, what do you like, what do you enjoy. So I mean, the base, of course, is DevSecOps. This is the base like where DevOps as 10 years ago. And now, after that, you need to think, I don't know, maybe to order all the stuff, to have everything clear, to understand all the functionality of this application, and to dive deep inside the how the infrastructure works, or how I need to do to automatize this and trigger a lot of automation within the cloud and the platforms and all stuff. Well, this is GitOps for you. And if you like to analyze, to understand what it is happening, how I can improve, I don't know, the measurements, how can I prevent a disaster when you have a live streaming, or you have a lot of, I remember another company that I used to work at, is a logistic company with 5,000 of trucks in the road. And if you like to prevent problems with that float and that you have in the road, AIOps is for you. But the baseline for sure is DevSecOps. And after that, you can say, well, okay, I am passionate about insights, about prevent stuff. The AI, I love the AI, so AIOps is for you, for sure. That's my if I gonna give an advice about it.
Thank you for that tip, Daniel. That was quite insightful. I'm sure the viewers might think the same. Now let's move on and listen from our audience. Since we've reached the end of the webinar, let's take some questions that the audience have given. I see one by Sharad, which says these three approaches, DevSecOps, AIOps, and GitOps, in my opinion, aren't really competing alternatives since they tackle different problems. You could use GitOps as your deployment method while following DevSecOps principle, but AIOps is solving a completely different challenge around AI to manage operations. He asks, he could be wrong, but he doesn't have much exposure to AIOps. How do organizations practically handle the governance and compliance challenges when these frameworks intersect?
Well, depends in the tools that you are gonna use. It's not the same if you are gonna implement it in old-fashioned way with different tools, one for AIOps, one for GitOps, and you are, for example, you have your code in Bitbucket, and you have your pipelines in Jenkins, and you have your infrastructure between AWS and on-prem. It's not the same, because in that case, you're gonna dive deep in how it works to understand how you can match compliance with that. And in the other side, you have platforms like GitHub platform or GitLab platform that allows you to have compliance from the day one. You can connect and open it to be audited for the external companies or entities if you need to be audited by the state, for example, if you're a bank or a fintech. So it depends. You have the two common scenarios are that you are the first, you have everything like separated and in a lot of places, and in the second, you have everything in a platform. And when I said DevSecOps is the future, it's because to apply DevSecOps for real, you need to migrate that bunch of tools that you are using separated to a platform that allows you to control them in an easy way, for sure.
Right. So the second part of the question is, how do you ensure proper audit trails and maintain compliance with regulations like SOX and PCI that require human oversight and approval for some certain changes?
What? Sorry, the audio broke and I didn't understand you well.
So the second part of his question is, how do you ensure proper audit trails and maintain compliance with regulations that require human oversight?
Well, it's the same. It is in the same answer, because you have, for example, in GitLab, that is a platform I use most. You have the option to open the platform for audit, so you can accomplish SOX from the day one. So, sorry, I have a chat here. I don't know what it is. My question: when AIOps is used, how do you maintain compliance that requires human think, but you answer? Okay, perfect. Yeah, it's open. This platforms allows you to accomplish with, of course, it's not, well, okay, I configure I move my code to GitLab and now I have SOX. No, you need to accomplish different steps that you can treat by a pipeline, integrated in a pipeline that gonna allows you, when you are outdated, that they're gonna say, okay, it accomplished SOX or IGA, PIA, the different compliance.
So let's take another question from Samuel. What are the must-have DevSecOps tools for someone just starting out?
Okay, good question. Really good question. Well, I think a platform, whatever you choose, I'm not gonna recommend Bitbucket because for me it's I don't know, a bit old school for what is happening. But yeah, GitHub or GitLab, whatever you wanna. Kubernetes for sure is a must. Argo CD or Flux CD2, and you can, I don't know, maybe create a Minikube cluster in your own computer and try to deploy with Argo or with Flux in a Minikube, and try to practice that kind with a simple application, back and front, to deploy with GitLab, like a pipeline that allows you to prevent secrets or to make a SAST test. I would say that with that, of course, you need to know about containers too, Docker, or something like that. But with these tools, the platform of your choose, Kubernetes, containers for sure, because if you are using Kubernetes without container, you're not gonna understand what you are doing because it's an orchestrator, and and a GitOps tool like Argo CD or Flux to deploy, you're gonna be okay, like the first stack to hit it.
Thanks for that, Daniel. Let's take one more final question. What's the biggest mistake you see people make when implementing DevSecOps?
Well, the first mistake the people make is that they think that DevSecOps is more like DevOps, you know. They think that maybe they have the old school map in their mind. That is, well, okay, I need to create a team specialized in security. Well, I don't have it, so I can't do DevSecOps with what I have. It's it's not affordable for my organization because the tools are expensive. But when you start to study about it, you're gonna find that you can apply DevSecOps with a free tool, like I mentioned that. But the GitHub and things and another tool to check the container security that are free. The tools that I mentioned are all free, and of course the same with GitLab. You have the tools to check the code for free or to check the containers and to maintain your infrastructure as a code without secrets or whatever in the same platform. The policies as a code, that is a must today. They think maybe that I need to acquire, I don't know, that application, that solution that offer me that company, I don't know, Palo Alto, whatever you want to think about. And this is more like, for example, policies. You need to policies as a code is a must, and you need to configure it, and any platform allows you to do that. AWS, GitLab, GCP, Azure. So I think that the answer is they think like old school, not that DevSecOps mindset. So they need to change the chip and said, okay, this is the DevSecOps mindset. Is applicable. I can implement it even if I'm a startup.
All right. Thanks for that, Daniel. And those were all the questions we could take today. I hope everyone that asked the questions got more clarity on their answers. Now that we reached the end of the webinar, I'd like to thank everyone that's joined in, and a huge thank you and shout out to Daniel for such powerful insights. Daniel, you like to say something?
Well, thanks to everyone for those fantastic questions that you made. This is really energizing, when you have such a good questions and you're really thinking strategically when you ask that kind of stuff. So I'm really glad to have you here today, and I hope you can make the change that you're wanting for this. The moment is now. Take the chance of start studying DevSecOps and jump to AIOps or GitOps if you wanna. But the moment is now. My mail is or my LinkedIn is open always. So if you wanna another question extra of the webinar, you can do it, of course. And again, thank you, Zazz, for letting me speak about it. I love to speak. You know that. So thank you for the place and the moment.
Thank you for that, Daniel. It was a pleasure having you with us. We hope everyone is leaving with a better understanding on how DevSecOps, GitOps, and AIOps are reshaping the cloud infrastructure. You'll be receiving a recording for today's session straight to your inbox along with the resources. So make sure you do check that out. And if you'd also like to explore more opportunities with Zazz, just follow us on LinkedIn and all of our socials, and also register to the link that will be shared now on the chat, and we can keep in touch from there. That's all I had from my side. Thank you everyone again for joining in. We'll see you guys next time. Thanks, Daniel.
Thank you. Bye-bye.